maybe. Hey,
Hi.
finally! Oh, it's like it's going to be one of those nights. I guess I don't know. It was going all well until just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it's fine.
So,
It
how
all
is
worked
everybody
out.
doing?
All worked out.
Doing all right.
Go,
Doing all
go
right.
ahead and let us know what you're reading, Lee. Go ahead and
I
do
am going to start reading Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. It's a thriller that I'm buddy reading, so I'm starting it today.
I've heard
read
some
that
good
one.
things about that one.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's about, so it was not my pick. I'm like, I'll just roll with it and see where we go.
Best way to go with a thriller.
Yeah.
And I am solely focused on finishing A Time to Swill, the second in the Sea Glass Saloon series. I switched over to, I found it on audio, so I switched over to doing it on audio, and I'm at 41%.
Nice.
Awesome. I am reading thriller. The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. I know she's a hit or miss author for a lot of people, but it was like a 7-day, tryout from the library, and I liked one of her other books, so I thought I'd give it a shot.
I'm
Yeah.
curious about that one because I've heard a lot of people not like that one. So yeah,
I DNF that one, so
See, yeah, so that's we'll see what I think.
not that I even thought it was so bad. It's like if I'm halfway through a book and I don't care either way about anything
Yes.
that's happening, I'm like, let me just move on to something else.
Agreed. Yep.
Hey, Jesse.
I am reading High Spirits or listening to High Spirits by Carol J. Perry. I'm like 77% into it. So
Are you
I have
liking it?
yeah, I have it's the cover, even the audiobook cover is so not Christmassy for a Christmas book.
They wanted to be different.
I guess so. I would never have thought it was a Christmas book, but they do talk about Christmas a little bit in it. I don't think it's like one of those that's like super like into Christmas, but it is mentioned at least.
Yeah.
So hi Jesse, hi everybody. And Hannah says, hi everyone, I'm going to start Death of an Italian Chef by Lee Hollis. Almost caught up with the series. All right.
Nice.
Hi, Bright Eyed and Bookish says, hope everyone's having a great holiday season. We did.
Thank
Hope
you.
everybody here had a great holiday.
It was awesome.
Got all kinds of good stuff.
Even just Kevin being home was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like your big one right there. Yeah.
Yep.
And Jesse said I finished Christmas Sisters. It was good.
That's a good one.
And then Nancy says, hi everyone, starting Lemon Drop Dead by Amanda Flower. Yay.
Nice.
And Nadine says, hi everyone, reading Home Sweet Christmas by Susan Mallory, number 2 in the Wishing Tree series. My youngest daughter got engaged Christmas Eve and Christmas Day boozy brunch was a hit. Thumbs up holiday for you. All right.
Congratulations.
Oh, that is awesome. Congrats.
Nice.
And Cajun says, hi everyone, listening to Snowflakes and Secrets in Scottish Highland right now. Yeah, I liked that one. I read that one last week. And saying congratulations. Yeah. And PK says, hello, just took a handful of chestnuts out of the oven, saw them in the grocery store, and thought I'd give chestnut roasting a try. Well, you'll have to let us know how it went.
Yes. What did you think?
I've never had a roasted chestnut, so I have no clue. Ashley says, hey, y'all, reading Murder on Waverly Place by Victoria Thompson. Hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday. I love that series.
I was going to say, I thought that was your series there, Storm.
Yeah. Says, hello, I think I'm going to read The Claus and Christmas by Rachel Bloom. I started it a couple of weeks ago and got sidetracked, so I'd like to get it finished.
I've heard really good things about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And Cap says, happy Boxing Day. I'm reading Body and Soul Food by Abby Collette. Got to get it finished tonight because it's due back to the library tomorrow.
What are you thinking of it? I loved it.
Jesse says, I need a good thriller to read. And Jessica Ann says, hello, everyone. Fighting a cold and reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Sounds like a nice comfort read, probably, for whenever you're not feeling
right.
And Jessica Ann says, "Have you ever read the one by John Mars?" To Jesse. Okay, yeah, I've heard of that one, and I know a few people that liked it, but I haven't read it. And Jessica Lynn says, "Hello, everyone. I'll be reading *Twas the Knife Before Christmas* and hopefully finishing it. Been in a cozy slump. Been reading fantasy mysteries. I need to get back into the cozies. That happens sometimes."
Yep.
You need a break.
Yeah.
And PK says, "I'm reading a sci-fi series, book 4 by J.A. Sutherland, HMS Nightingale." Okay.
Excellent.
Yes, Hannah, them silly computers. And Nadine says to Jesse, "Have you ever tried Linda Castillo's Kate Burkholder series?"
That's
2
on
thumbs
my
up.
car.
2 big thumbs up.
I do like
Ooh,
that.
okay.
One.
I added that on. So
Read a couple more and then we'll get into a sprint. Says Dream says, "Hi everyone. Tonight I'm reading Murder with Peacocks."
Excellent.
And she said she hasn't read any of those. So.
They are graphic, just so you're aware.
Yeah. Even though it says Amish, they are graphic.
No, this isn't your mother. This isn't Elizabeth's Amish books.
And Jessica said to Jesse, "I only physically read, so I don't know if it is on there." I don't know if they're on script, but they are on audiobook, so they could be on script.
They are on audio, and the audio version of them, I have to say, is fantastic. The narrator
I like
is really good.
And Nancy says the one by John Mars is really good. I enjoyed it. Okay. I don't know named by the author, any of the authors you've mentioned. Well, see, there, a whole bunch to check out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and read to the top of the hour. And I feel all discombobulated because I got started. Okay, so happy reading, everyone.
happy
Happy
reading.
reading.
So how did everybody do?
Not bad. There's no chapters in this. It just gives like a time, like day 1, 8:30 type of thing, which is annoying, but I'm not into it at all so far. It's like a time travel type of thing, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I was wondering how you were going to feel about that one because I knew like the premise of it. And so, yeah.
Yes, I'm probably going to do like one more set of sprints and then text Sharon and be like, are you into this at all? Because I'm not. So. We'll see. Anyway.
Gotcha. I got to 63% into A Time to Swill. I am liking it better than the first one, but the reason it's not that I didn't care for the first one. I gave the first one 3 stars, but I didn't know if I wanted to continue it because there was a character in it that I really thought was mean. And this time I'm liking it better, but she hasn't really been much of a part of it. So I'm like, but she's a main character. So I don't know what I really think, but I am enjoying the book. So there you go.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I only got like a chapter read in my book, but I had dinner. So that was important.
There you go.
And
What did you have?
Chicken and mushroom penne fettuccine.
Ooh,
Mhm.
yum.
Yummy. So I got to 91%. See, I don't know if you can see it, but see there, that doesn't look very Christmassy. It's blue, it has a little ghost and a dog, and it says high spirits, and there's no Christmas.
Yeah, it's a little odd. At least put a Santa hat on the dog or
Yeah,
ghost.
I know,
something.
Put a Santa hat on the ghost. I don't
Yeah.
Right?
But I don't mind it. I like it fine. The ghosts are interesting. The only thing is that the main character sometimes gets on my nerves a little bit because she thinks she's a little bit better sometimes than the police guy or whatever.
Mm.
But now like they're working together a little bit, so I'm like maybe they'll find a common ground or something. I don't know. And he's definitely not the love interest in this one. I can tell that one's going a different way, so that's always cool because it's not the cop anyway. So.
Yeah.
And Dina says, "Hi, I'm reading The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes." Cool.
Nice.
Excellent.
And Nadine said to Jesse that I love Sworn to Silence, and I hope you do too. And Arena says, "Hi everyone, still reading Kiss Her Once for Me by Allison. Is it Cochran? Cochran, yeah.
Excellent.
And Jenny says, "Hello everyone. I'm not sure what I'll be reading. I've been organizing my books, trying to see just what I have unread in my Kindle. It turns out it's quite a lot."
Story of my life, Jenny.
Yeah, I was gonna say that usually is how it
I just
happens
had a
for me. I want to go back to like, I don't know, when I first got my like very first Kindle, I think 2010, and tell myself, you don't need all the free books. You don't need all the free books.
Right?
Just because it's free doesn't mean you have to grab it. Because
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
not
Proof.
read many of those.
And Cozy says, "Hello, going to make a smoothie and fold laundry, listening to Iced Over Bark and Beans Cafe #2, the KU series on Alexa app."
I've been seeing that. It looks really cute. It's like a dog and coffee
Yeah, the
shop.
cover looks cute with the little
Yeah.
dog on top. Yeah. PK says, "New historical mystery out tomorrow by Anna Dean." So happy. Yay.
Awesome.
I don't know who that is, so I need to look up that author because I like historical mysteries. And Annie says, "Hi everyone. I'm reading Christmas at the Peppermint Inn by Alicia Streifel.
Well, that sounds really cozy and cute.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And this is horrible. PK says, "Chestnut report. I follow the cooking instructions on the package. Burnt and inedible. Looking at raw ones, look like brains and equally too hard to eat. So I see why roasting correctly helps. Oh well."
Oh man, PK.
And Hermione says, "Hello everyone. I'm still finishing Mission Merry Christmas and welcome to winter."
Have you guys
Oh,
ever
sound
had
delightful.
chestnuts roasted?
Mm-mm.
We did it once, Kevin. Remember? We like them?
Yep.
Yeah, we liked them.
Yeah.
But I think that they would be better cooked like where you buy them like on a street vendor where they know how to do it.
Well, they know how to do it, yeah.
But
Opposed to trying to do it in your oven, which
sorry.
temperatures vary and all that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff,
exactly.
and, yeah.
Exactly. That's a bummer, PK.
And Jesse says, well, I can't read it until 12:30, so how does Audible work? Is it costly? I'm getting tired of Scribd. But then she says, cancel Scribd and got a 30-day free trial for Audible and 2 free books to start. So
There you go.
go.
Well done.
And Sherry says, hello, everyone. I'll be finished eating dinner and listening to The Island of Dr. Libris and reading Please, Please Tell Me Now. And I want to sing it whenever I see that. Like, try not to sing it.
That's funny.
Mhm.
What did you have for dinner, Sherry?
And Karen says, hi, everyone. Tonight I'm reading Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. I feel like that one was everywhere this year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely PPR. Yeah.
I know, Sharon. Sharon says, I finished number 8 in the Booktown series. Bad Storm for not liking my favorite series.
Oh,
It was on my disappointing list or whatever. So.
it's so funny when like it's almost like a guilt feeling when you don't like somebody's like favorite series that you know they love. You're like, oh,
Well, it's like whenever I put like the Clash Reunion one or whatever it is on when I did my best and worst series, and I think it was on, and she's like, no, like my, and I was like, I want to like it. Everybody else likes it. I want to like it.
yeah.
And Sharon says, tonight I'm starting the Bake Shop series by Ellie Alexander. Number 1, Meet Your Baker.
Excellent.
It's
So
about time you showed up, Mel Mac. Says,
Hi, Mel Mac.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, everyone. I'm reading Not a Creature Was Purring by Krista Davis, number 5 in the Paws and Claws. I'm teasing her because when we were chatting and she's like, when did you go live? I didn't see. She forgot to refresh.
I saw her one where she said I missed the whole first segment, so I figured.
I missed the whole first segment because I was waiting for Storm to reboot. Yep, and I already did, and you just missed me. In the meantime, something glitchy happened on my end because when the live started, it didn't show on
Oh
my
no.
screen. Sure, use that as an excuse.
To not get any reading done conveniently.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a bummer, Melmac.
Yeah, that is.
Like Hannah said, I made it to 14%. Lady
Nice.
Val 20%. Nancy made it 21%. And Jen says, hi everyone, just getting here. Hello.
Yay, welcome.
And Hannah says, I signed up for the Las Vegas e-card. Yay.
So, I was so somebody told me about it. So a subscriber told me about it, and I shared it. And I was able to get the Harris, and I was able to get it at Broward, but Las Vegas has denied me like 8 times in a row. And I'm like, and then everybody else is like, thank you, Tiffany, I got Vegas. I'm like, and Vegas is the one that seems to have all the really good books.
Tiffany, maybe that has something to do with like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Maybe you did something in Vegas that, they don't want to give
I
you a
have
library
been to
card.
Vegas a few times.
I was just wondering, when it asks you like what your home library is, do you put like Clark County? Because that's the one I've
That's what somebody told me to put, but every time I've done it, it says we cannot verify your address. I'm like, well, that's not my problem. That sounds like no, I'm kidding.
That
But
sounds like your
I'm like-
problem.
I'm like, you guys have all the good books of all the ones, and then everybody else seems to be
Yeah,
having
that-
no
that
problem,
is
which I'm happy
crazy 'cause,
about,
yeah.
but
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm gonna have to.
Because like, yeah, with the breakfast at Tiffany's that she Lee's doing, I was like, Las Vegas has it, and everything. So
Oh,
that's what they've
fun.
been.
I know. I'm
Because
gonna
my
see if
goodness,
somebody else is out there.
$12.99 for that little short book. That's just crazy.
That's crazy. Do not spend
Wow.
money on that. Do not.
And PK said 52% got through naval battle in space with probable pirates.
Ooh.
We lost but survived. I like her little deals about what she says about her.
Between that and her burnt and edible chestnuts, it's a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
Right?
It really is.
Space battles commence. Book fan still reading Death at Paradise Palms up to 38% done.
Excellent.
Amber Jen says, didn't get any reading done. My stomach isn't feeling well. I think I might just get my TBR for next month started. There you go.
Good idea. Hope you
I'm
feel better.
itching to like figure out what my TBR for next month is going to be. I haven't done it yet because I need to do my little TBR game first and then work around that. And so it's like, I keep telling myself I'm not going to worry about reading too many books, but yet I already want to read like all the books. And it's like, oh, just calm down. It's just the first month.
Exactly.
And Sherry says, got to 219 of 335.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Nadine said, I ate dinner, pasta, red sauce, meatballs, and about 8%.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Adrian started ebook of The Santa Slaughter, a very merry murder mystery, hoping it's funny and silly.
Doesn't sound funny or silly.
Yeah, by the title, I don't know.
Sounds serious.
There's like a middle grade book, I think, that has something along the lines of a very merry murder mystery. But I don't know if it's called The Santa Slaughter. So.
Oh,
And Cozy said 33% into my book. I enjoy the series Coffee Shop Pet Rescue, but this one is a little heavy on the mystery. Then I would probably like it.
there you go. Yeah.
Good.
And the book fan said, Sarah, your voice sounds much better today.
It does.
Getting there.
And Annie
Slowly.
says 63%.
Yay.
Nancy says, Jesse, you are better off with the annual membership. I suggest calling them and asking them about their 2 annual memberships. And Melmac said to Sharon, I can sympathize. Storm is always dissing my favorite series, too. Yeah, because her favorite series was on my disappointed list, too. Because I wanted to really like the Bibliophile series, and I read that one book, and I didn't like it very much.
Yeah.
But I will give
Happens.
the second one a try. And I think I found it somewhere that there was like, I found an audiobook because I was like, maybe if I had the audiobook, it might go better. And Dramani said, finishing up Mission Merry Christmas in that sprint, it was cute. I'm not sure what to read next. I might jump back into Heavy Crown by Sophie Lark, or maybe start something new.
I vote on something new.
Yeah. Go for something new. And like Hannah says, no, Mac, Christmas is over. Let the high rolls commence.
You are just
Yes, she is.
Stirring the pot.
Mm-hmm.
24% for Ashley. And Mike says, thanks for the reminder, Hannah. Yeah, thanks, Hannah. Thanks. Cajun says, ha ha ha, right on top of the timing. Melmac said, Tiffany has earned a backlog of high rolls.
Aww.
I've been so good.
And as a Tiffany told what she did in Vegas, and they
I'm the most boring Vegas person ever. Like,
see, and Jim says, I got the Vegas and the Broward. What was the other one you mentioned, Tiffany?
Harris County, Texas. They have a pretty good. I would say that they also have a
I
pretty
haven't
good
gotten that one yet.
Vegas?
I did the other 2, but I haven't tried that one yet.
Put
I'll
your
have to.
address in USPS.
But my goodness, with the amount of libraries I have, I feel like if I can't find a book, something's wrong.
Right?
And there
It
have
doesn't
been
exist.
times. There have been times that I have looked through each one, and it's not there, and I'm like, really? It's like, I guess that's the universe saying you really don't need to read that book.
Right?
Hayden says, Tiffany, put your address in USPS and see what the official verified version is. I know for a while we had to use the number of the leasing office online because the PO did not recognize the apartment number back then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're in a new community, so it's
Right.
weird because also when you put in like my address to Google Maps or Waze or whatever, it comes up a different town. somebody like was coming to visit and they're like, I thought you lived in, wherever. And they're like, it's coming up. And I was like, I know it'll still lead you to my house. And I don't know why it says this other town. It's
That's
very
weird.
bizarre. So I don't know.
And
Thank
Cody
you. I will
says
try that.
Looked
like
online and it says the requirements to get the Clark County card is anyone who lives, works, attends school, visits Clark County can apply online for an instant e-card. But all you have to do is say that that's your main library, and you put your address on there so they know you're not from.
Yeah, you put in a
Vegas.
different state
So,
and
and they
everything.
still let you have it. So I don't know. They just don't like Tiffany.
I'm gonna put somebody else's address in.
Did you piss off Siegfried and Roy there, Tiffany?
What's that?
Did you piss off Siegfried and Roy?
Or
their giant tiger?
Never mind. Let's not talk about it anymore. Never happened.
She's like, shh, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
And it said the mail Tiffany took advantage of you trying to stay on Santa's nice list.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this halo has never left.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a lot.
Okay, it says, I know you're not in an apartment, but just saying it might be some way to go to the.
Yeah, no, I'm
way
saying
the
you might
PO
be
to
right.
recognize it.
I'm saying you might be right because I've had trouble.
Yeah, see, Cajun says I got Las Vegas instantly using my Georgia address.
Yeah, and almost everybody that's told me they got it had no problem. None of them have been from Nevada. So it's
because that was the one you wanted the most.
I know
why you're having problems.
But I'm gonna try Cajun's thing. Cajun, thank you very, very much, because that's probably it in some way. Because I'm just saying, I know I've had trouble with my address, so you could very well be right.
It could be, yeah. And Melmac says, I bought a bag of chestnuts a few years ago because they sounded so appealing for the holidays. Chestnuts roasting and open fire and all that jazz. I didn't know they're not actually like a nut.
I did not know that either.
What are they like then?
Yeah, I know.
Curious.
Enlighten us, because I've never had it.
Now I'm curious what they're like.
Kevin and I bought some. Gosh, we liked them, but Kevin, do you remember what they tasted like?
I'm waiting for him to say like a chestnut roasted on an open
Right.
They're the edible fruit of a tree that grows throughout the world. They can be eaten raw or cooked with a mild flavor that makes them versatile for both sweet and savory dishes. They're a fruit.
They are kind of sweet. They were kind of sweet. I remember that.
But were they like
not useful at all? So
I'm curious about the texture by her saying they're not like a nut.
Huh?
We didn't cook them right. I'm not sure what the texture.
I'm not sure. We don't remember.
Well, they say a flavor that resembles a sweet potato.
Oh, I would never have thought that.
I wouldn't like them then.
Me neither.
I think what I remember of them, Lee, I think talking about texture, I think they're more like almost like a dried fruit.
Oh, okay.
Not 100% dried, but more like that kind of texture. If I'm remembering right, it's been a long time.
Okay, it says Calf says I'm at a halfway point of body and soul food, and I'm really enjoying it. Uniquely cozy angle with a bookstore diner being run by reunited twins, and the mystery is intriguing.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, I really, really liked it too.
Mm.
And you're gonna be leaving at 7:30, right, or 8:30 your time?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go through the comments a little bit more, and then when you leave, we can do a reading.
Cool.
And so Jesse said, thanks for the info, Nancy. And Cajun says, what are they then, Chestnut Chip?
There you go, Cajun. Thank you, Sarah.
And PK said, had today off, so worked on my 2023 reading bullet journal. I'm doing 23 and 23, listing books and series I've left hanging but want to finish. New releases. Yeah, I've already filled up the year.
You're not alone. A lot of us have done the same too, so you're in the perfect company for that.
It's very easy, and it's like all these series that I really want to work on, and it's like, oh, look at that nice shiny new one. To me, I think Sherry's going to have like super willpower in 2023 because she's not going to start any new series until she's knocked off some of hers.
Oh,
and that's a lot of willpower.
That's a lot of willpower, Sherry.
Yeah. Jenny says, yes, just like you, Storm. If I could go back, I'd say the same. Don't download all the free books just because you ain't going to read them. Yeah, I think any of the book over 4 years old unread will be deleted. Yeah, I've been going back and doing the same thing, deleting off a lot. And it's also, you notice that your reading taste changed too, because like I had a lot of like fantasy, paranormal kind of things like that, and I'm like, and a young adult, and it's like, no, don't want those, don't want that. delete. And Cozy says, PK, I'm excited to start my 2023 journal. Jesse says, I have about 1,000 books. My husband keeps building bookshelves for me. Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
Wow.
that is a project in 2023 too, is to build another bookshelf. And Cozy says, all these libraries have a set budget, LO, and I have enough resources, so I'm not going to try for another card. They're right on live. Yeah.
True enough.
Gotcha.
My problem is I want the book, and if I can get it in another library, I'm going to do it.
There you go.
Nancy says, I have plenty of libraries. Miami has breakfast at Tiffany's. I don't have Miami anymore. I'm all for the free ones. I don't have to pay for them. And Moax says, well, Stormy Book 2 in the Bibliophile series takes place in Scotland, so that should be a point in its favor. Yes, because I do like Scotland. So
I did. Sorry, I was just thinking about what Cozy had said. I had emailed them and asked them like what the issue was, and the lady said, it's not that you're in Florida that's the problem. Something else is going on where we can't verify. So, I mean, they must you have to put in states, so they must really be okay with other states using their card, because that was a personal response. She was like, I don't know why.
So it must be a town thing, like Cajun says.
Yeah,
I mean, in
that's
Vegas,
what I'm saying. I'll definitely try what Cajun said. Thank you, Cajun.
And Vegas mostly runs off of tourism. There's, you know what I mean? So for them to give it to anybody just kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
True. Very true.
And I think it was the Broward County one that I had says that I don't have to re-up it till like 2030 something, and I was like, what the heck? Okay.
Wow.
Oh, just to even think that far in advance is just no, I'm not ready.
That's where I'm going, book fan.
Yeah, book fan said I'll be here till 8:30. Ellie Alexander's having her cozy live. I know Tiffany is abandoning us. Melmac is abandoning us too.
How dare Ellie Alexander do this to you, Storm?
I know.
I know.
Didn't she confirm this first?
I don't know what she was thinking. Having a book
Honestly.
come out tomorrow and doing the live on Storm's night.
I know.
Dare she?
I'll let her know, Storm. I'll let her know.
Yeah, you let her know I'm not happy. No. And Tiffany says that Halo is tilted and tarnished and needs buffed and shined.
It looks perfect to me.
Melmac says chestnuts, they are white, fleshy, chewy things.
Okay.
That does not sound appealing at all.
It does not.
Thank you, Cajun.
Cajun let me point out even Lucifer had a halo. And Cozy says like a date or a fig chewy.
I know. I mean, I'm glad Melmac said she remembered it being chewy, because that's what I remember. It tasted like almost like a dried fruit.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
not as sweet as a dried fruit for
Right.
sure, but on the sweet side.
Jen says I had them once. The texture was weird. I didn't like them. To me, they tasted nothing like a sweet potato, but they probably weren't correct.
I'm a texture person, so I'll stay away.
Yeah. Yeah, funny texture sometimes I'm not good with. It's like when I went to the Oriental restaurant and they have like fried this and that and the other, and they had fried broccoli, and I thought, oh, I'll give that a try, and I like tried it and I was like, oh, this is gross. It's so mushy and gross. It's like, no, that didn't work.
It's the same reason I can't eat pork chops. It's the texture of a pork chop that just turns my stomach.
And Jessica Lynn said, sorry, I'm having Wi-Fi issues. I feel your pain. I don't know what my problems was earlier, but I was having computer issues. And Melmac said to Cajun, that is an excellent point.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
occasions like stealth with her.
If I start any new series in 2023, I have to read at least 2 books from it. No more just reading number 1. Have way too many of those yet. I do too.
I was gonna say, Storm, that might be something that you might want to.
Yeah, because like I have like a list of all the series I started this year, and it's gonna have to be a video all on its own because I was gonna do series that I started and caught up on, but no, there's too many. Because and those are gonna be my SAS list for night. I'm like, I'm not even going to get on there and say this is nope, this here and this here because I too many.
That's so funny.
And so Nancy said, I worked on my journal today. Also got my 2023 head up and ready to go. I've really been reading a lot of fantasy. Got a lot of books for Christmas. All right.
Excellent.
And Jessica Lynn says, "What? That's wonderful, Nancy. I got my 2023 journal ready. Getting super excited for 2023." And I did the same thing with Brower Tiffany. I felt bad and I called and she said, as long as it's digital borrows, I can have a card.
That's awesome.
If you tell Tiffany you said something about your trip to Vegas and they blacklisted you, yeah,
What?
she just thinks you're blacklisted. That's all there is to it. And so I'm sure you want to have a few minutes to get over there and situated to the live. So I'm going to go ahead and do a reading sprint, and you can hop off and do your thing. So
all right, thanks, Storm.
Tiffany.
Bye, everyone. See you Thursday, maybe.
Yes, I'll host Thursday.
Awesome.
Okay. Happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
So how'd you guys do?
Again, I can't judge how far I'm getting, but it's okay. It's all right.
You're still trying it, huh?
I'm
You're
still trying it, but I'm like, whatever. I don't care whatever happens at this point. So
I know it's about a mother trying to save her son or something and keeps going back in time like a date or something.
she sees her son kill somebody outside the apartment window, and then he goes to jail that night and they can't get him out. They said they could do it in the morning. She goes home, she goes to sleep. She sees him the next morning and like everything's fine because it's the day before. And then the next day it's 2 days before, and then 3. So now it's kind of like she has to go back and figure out like how the crime got plotted. Like when was the moment like that it came in?
When did he decide that this was what he was going to do and try to stop it?
Yeah.
Which sounds cool in a way, but I mean, you have to like those kind of.
Yeah, and I don't. So I'm like,
to me, it's like kind of like those Groundhog Day ones. I don't really like those much. I didn't even like the movie. I never really watched the movie because I was not a fan.
And a lot of the details are like mundane, everyday details. And it was like, oh, there was this pumpkin on the table on that night, and now it's like 2 days ago, and the pumpkin hadn't been bought. And on like the day before that, like somebody suggested a pumpkin. And I'm like, all right, are we really going to go on about this pumpkin? Like
a lot of repeating because of that. Yeah,
Right.
can get old. How'd you do, Sarah?
I got about another chapter into it, but that's really the most I've read in the last week or 2 weeks. So I'll call it a win.
Have you been mostly just like exhausted on top of it?
Literally just, I can barely keep my eyes open most of the time.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Yeah.
I finished High Spirits, so
Yay!
one more down, and I'm determined to conquer the Christmas Ransom. I'm at 76%, so I almost there.
You're very close.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it's not because it's not good. It's just I haven't been really working on it that much.
Makes sense.
And so Jesse said there are some series I just can't seem to let go of because I reread them again, and hubby gave up trying to unhaul any. Yeah. At least he's nice enough to recognize you're not gonna let go of them to build another bookshelf.
Right?
And Disco Lynn says, I have a library here that did the same thing to me. As long as it was digital, I could use my card, but if it was physical, I had to go back and renew it in person.
Makes sense.
And Annie said she ate a chestnut off a tree and it was very bitter.
Ew.
Yeah, I bet. It's like my dad a long time ago, when I think him and my mom first got together, we have persimmons out in our yard. And if you don't get one when they're ripe, they're very bitter, and they got this really nasty taste after. And so he thought he'd be funny, and he gave her one and told her to bite into it. And yeah, it was so bitter and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, then you ruined her, because she would never try another persimmon, even the ripe ones. You couldn't get her to do it. She would never do it.
That's how you ruin it.
Yep. And Hannah says, Cajun is honestly the sassiest out of all of us. She makes us look like angels. And then Mel Mac said, Cajun's brand of sass sneaks up on you, then bam. Yep. Cajun says, Mwah. Well, maybe not angels. Yeah. And so Cozy says, does everyone know how many series they completed or caught up on this year? She completed 19 this year, and I do have an answer for this because I went and looked it up. And let me see. Okay. I finished 10 series, and one of them was from the first book to the 12th book. So yay. I like the whole series in the year. And then I caught up on 24. So 34 altogether. Not too bad.
Very nice. Very nice.
Considering I started 68. I've read book 1 in 68 books. Series. So.
See, I've been pretty good about like just being caught up on most of them. So
right?
I don't really know a number on those like that.
See, I was really trying to concentrate a lot. I worked on some series, but I didn't catch up on them, but there were a few that I worked on. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of accepted it that I'm a series person. I'm always going to be starting a new series. So, I just go with the flow. But I was really trying really hard this time. So I thought, 34 altogether wasn't bad.
That's really good. That's really good.
Nomad said
So
that.
I started 47 series this year. I have 103 that I'm currently working on. I've completed 2.
Yay!
And that's not
Don't read
really
series
that's
in
not
order,
bad for
don't
you.
care.
I was going to say that's not really bad for you because since you don't read a lot of things in order, some of those series that you caught up on, you'd already read like number 6 and number 3, and you were filling in the
Exactly.
blanks. So
Exactly.
it's not bad. Max said maybe chestnuts actually have to roast on an open fire to be tasty, and oven just doesn't cut it.
Right?
Well, now I have in my mind like a Christmas market outside, like where they have like the fires and they're giving in the little bags. So
Yeah,
Like a bag of popcorn,
yeah.
right?
So maybe I'll have to try that.
Mm-hmm.
And so Cajun says it's called years of more practice. She's had a lot more practice to be sassy.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, she's heading off. Oh, Cajun left me too.
We've been ditched.
Yes, we have. And Jessica Lynn said that she definitely wants to read more Ellie Alexander in 2023. It's on her series list. Only read one book and enjoyed it. There you go.
I haven't read any Ellie Alexander, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything at all.
I haven't either. I think it's because I'm afraid I'm not going to like them. And it's another one of their favorite ones. So I'm like, I'm just not going to do it yet.
That's fair.
And Jesse says, for 2023, I'm going to reread what I have on my shelves. Storm, are you doing retro romance in February again? Because I have 100 of those to read. And I go of, yes, I am. So I am excited. I have so many books, and it's like one of those things. Like I don't even know the plot, so it's like even with the prompts that we come up with, I'm like, dang, I'm gonna have to go through all these and like look at the back, see what's.
You'll be able to make it work, though. You've got plenty to make it work.
That's fine.
I do have plenty to make it work, and I'm not necessarily worried about the prompts. I make the prompts for everybody else because I know people like prompts, and whenever I did it this year, and everybody's like, "You don't have any prompts," so now we have prompts.
It's funny how people, they want more structure instead of the opportunity to mood read whatever they want.
Yeah, because that's why I was like, I'm giving it the mood read, but everybody else can be structured.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So PK at 58%, and Lady Val got to 31%, and Sherry got to 242 out of 335.
Nice.
Hannah says, I'm listening to In a Holidays by Christina Lawrence. My final Christmas book. I made it to 50%.
That one was cute.
See, and that's one of those too. That's the groundhog type books.
It is a groundhog. It's the Groundhog Day, yeah.
PK says, oh, I started the one in Audible. That one in Audible. Sharon said, read 30 pages, only 50 pages left to finish. Woohoo!
Nice.
Yay! Jen, 51%. And him says, I caught up and finished 28 series. Wow.
Well done.
Wow, Storm, fantastic. I know I worked really hard this year because I knew I was starting a whole bunch. So I'm like, I got to get some of these. And then there's some that, when I'm looking at my list, I'm like, why didn't I just read that last one? Why didn't I read that last one? So now it's like next year, it's like, have one. But it's like, look at all these series I caught up with because I had that one to finish.
There you go.
It's like I have one more left in the Writer's Apprentice series, and then that series is a finished series, so that will be a series finished. And it's like, why didn't I just finish that series this year?
You'll have a ton for next year.
Yeah, and Sherry says, I got caught up and finished 71 series.
Well done. Well
Wow.
done.
And if you've looked in on her list, she's got hundreds more to go. Because I think she has a list of 100 series that she's going to be working on next year, and she can't start any more series until she's made at least a little bit of a dent of progress in those 100 series.
Wow.
Just to finish some of those first. And Hannah said, "Good job, Sarah."
Thank you. I'll take it.
Wow, and Sherry. Yeah. Ashley got approved for my Las Vegas card. I thought it went since I live in the sticks. Well, see, I live in the sticks too, and I got it. So yeah. PK says, "I'm a mood reader, hands down. I can make list, but I will not follow it strictly, and that's kind of me too." And Cozy said, "Sherry, wow, my hero. Hashtag goals." Yeah. And Sharon said, "This is my first Ellie Alexander book, and I'm really liking it."
Well, that's good.
I think the thing is it's a baking one, and I'm not huge on baking ones, so I think that's why I've been putting it off too. But I need to give it a try one of these days. Plenty more series. Plenty more
Right.
series. Cozy says Elizabeth Sass prompt of 3 or less books left in series will be great for Houston. I know, yeah, it will be. I do have like a little list started of ones that I've picked out. I'm sure I've missed some, and I'll find them. But yeah, I've got like, well, I have a lot of trilogies where I've only read the first book, so I can finish those trilogies. And then yeah, some that I only have like 3 books left or something like that. So. And Sharon says, "Wow, Sherry, that's impressive."
That is impressive.
I did 16 series I've caught up on or finished. But in truth, even just in the Holiday Bay, I think I read like 18 or so.
Wow.
When it came out. So I'm like, all right, it's not too bad.
Well done.
Yes, you read a lot in that series to catch up on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Well done.
And she says, "Way to go, Sherry." Yeah.
That's excellent.
So here's the thing: do you want to do like a half an hour sprint, and then wrap up, or are you guys?
I'm gonna call it for the night because I'm still exhausted.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you're looking pretty tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am tired.
I can hang out because I'm actually off this week from work, so I can do another half sprint. Yeah.
So yeah, so we could do like a half an hour and then like wrap it up. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And
Enjoy
so we
your
will
evening,
see
everybody.
Sarah on Thursday, right?
Yes, my channel on Thursday at 7 p.m.
All right.
And get some rest.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Feel better. Bye.
Thank you.
And so Cozy said, "Awesome, Lee. You are really focused on certain series this year." Yeah.
Yeah, trying to get some stuff done.
PK says, "I'm going to be starting several fantasy series in the new year. Big books, too. Doesn't mean I will finish them, yeah."
It doesn't mean you won't either. You might.
And Sherry says, "Everyone's got a lot to be proud of, yes." I think if I finish one series in a year, I'm doing really good. So
Very true. Very true.
Oh, and Sharon said, "I'm in. Let's do it." All right. We're just a couple minutes ahead, but we'll just go ahead and jump in there and read till 45. And so happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
So how'd you go?
We decided to DNF. So
She wasn't liking it much either then?
no.
Well, that's good. At least, you know.
So
It's always good when you're both not liking it and you can call it quits.
well, that's why first I was like, so how are you enjoying the book so far? Like, so if she really liked it, I would just stick it out. But she's like, it's okay, not really. So I was like, oh yeah, it's like it's not that great. She's like, DNF. I'm like, sure.
It's like there's plenty of other thrillers to jump on. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's kind of how she is with it. It's just like, if we're not into it, let's just move on to another book. So
Cool. I am at 82% in Christmas Ransom. So
nice.
my last Christmas book. Once I get that done, I am done with Christmas.
I think the only other book I have like left that I want to read this year is Hot and Sour Suspects by Vivian Chen. That's in the Noodle Shop series. So that's really like the only other one I'm like determined to get done this year.
I have one book audiobook that I'm working on. I'm working on a Brimstone by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. It's number 5 in Pendergrass. Me and Breezy Ann are reading it.
Okay.
It's our loose buddy read. We always try to read it at the same time, but we're not like, you know, we don't really talk much about it. But yeah, I seen that she had it on her because we had talked about reading it, but then I lost kind of track of the month, and I was like, oh, I need to get that in because I saw that was on her TBR that she was reading it and it's like 18 hours. And I'm not quite halfway through it yet, so I still got plenty. I'll finish it. But it's the only one that I want to finish, like this year. Anything else that I start, I don't mind if it rolls over. But I want that one so that I can count that towards my series I worked on.
Yes, that's why I'm like, all right, that's part of my SAS, like the last one I can get done.
Yeah. And so Sherry said she read her notes wrong. It was only 41 series, but that's still
great. Yeah, still great.
And she's like, it's a lot more than me rocked it this year. Mm-hmm. And then PK said, I apologize, Storm. I stated the wrong author. My historical mystery, new release tomorrow. It's Darcy Wilde. First book is A Useful Woman set in Regency, England. And I looked it up and it sounds really interesting.
Nice.
So I will have to mark that on my... I would like to read this sometime. And tell myself, no, I don't need to start that series like right now. But,
right. That always happens.
Yeah. Well, especially as like I love historical mysteries, but I don't feel like I read enough of them. And there's like so many out there that I've never even heard of.
Okay.
And Jenny says, where can I find a list of all these libraries? I could use a few more libraries to explore. We don't necessarily have a list, but you can always mention them again. So the one was the Clark County for Las Vegas. Then there was the Broward County, which I don't remember where that was.
Texas?
No, I think the Harris one was Texas. And the Broward County was Florida, I think. It was another Florida one.
Yes. Yeah. Broward County's Florida.
Yeah, Jesse said tip. Still good, Cheryl. I made it to 65%. Yay, Hannah. PK 63. PK says thriller I loved, Alias Emma by Ava Glass. Read it in one sitting. Yes, she has been promoting that all over. I have seen her be like, "You want another one? Read it." so that is definitely one that she likes. I looked it up. It looked like it might be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And Sharon says, I have only 7 pages left. Great book.
Nice.
Right, Storm.
Peer pressure.
Jesse says, I am 69 years old, and hubby says you have another 20 years in you. There you go. And that's a lot of books you can be reading.
Yep.
Yeah. And Hannah says, Storm, what do you think of the Pendergrass series? My dad needs new books to read. I really like it. I think if he likes anything like thriller, horror, because a lot of them, the first 2 were kind of like a duology. With it seems like they do that in the series. It was like they both went together, And it was definitely supernaturally like creature type oriented thing where there was some kind of weird creature in the museum. And then the third one was completely different and more just like a weird kind of cabinet thing and everything, but still always have like a supernatural type of leaning. But the fourth one was about it had kind of a wrong turn thing, where you got those
Yep.
messed up people that were, it was kind of a weird one. And this one is the first in like a trilogy, because I know Breezy Ann said this one kind of spins off like, so there's the next three go together.
Okay.
And it does that kind of, I guess, within the series. There's some like that, but I like them. I think they're pretty fast paced and everything. I haven't got Pendergast figured out yet. I'm not sure, like, if he's like in an agency all on his own or what, but he ends up showing up where there's something weird going on and nobody wants him there, but he's always there. And he the way he acts and the way he just, I don't know, it's like, is he like human or is he not human?
Oh.
You never really, he's just kind of strange, and he's like a secret agent of sorts, but it's like he's like his own little X-Files or something, but he always seems to show up, and if somebody has a problem with him being there, they call and all of a sudden they're like, well, they said he can be here or whatever. And
one of those.
Drives like, I think he has like a Rolls Royce or something like that. I mean, so it's like he's got money but yeah, so it's weird. I haven't figured him out yet.
Okay. Very
There's like 20 something in the series. So
oh wow.
Yeah. So it's a nice long series that's still going. I think there was one that came out this year. So, or coming out next year.
I'm waiting for the new one to come out next month.
Yeah.
Or out this month. So
I was gonna say, I thought there was like a new one or something coming out. And Lady Val says I hit 35% the sprint, but that puts me at 22% reading for the night. That's good. And Jen said I cleaned up the kitchen and read another 5% at 56% now. And I'm your histamist expert. Yes, there you go. And Jesse says the Pendergast is great, Hannah. And PK says I love it that much. Sorry, the thriller. Yeah, well, it's one you don't hear about. I've never heard about it.
No, I haven't either. So that's why I put it on there so we could talk about it.
And Jesse said, I'm waiting for the new one to come out this month. Yeah. Jesse says, I am all caught up on the Pendergast series. Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm picking up some more books for him tomorrow. Yeah, Relic is the first book, in case you want to know. And DeShannon says, just getting here. Those you mentioned, your reading journals, and I need videos, pics, or suggestions. I'm struggling with what I want to include.
That's a good thing. You can like put as much or as little as you want. So it's kind of like, oh, what do I want?
I was gonna say it depends on what you're wanting to, like, if you got your SAS list and your other things and your, I don't know. That's why I'm not very good at it, because I'm like, I just make a list. just the list. So I do better just putting the list on my computer. So that's what I have. Like, I'm working on my own little template on Google Sheets to have like series that I read in 2023, then continuing like series, and then finish series. And then whenever I finish one, then I can put it to my finished series and then kind of move it over.
That's what I've been kind of doing, something similar. Like, okay, all series that I've read and I'm caught up on, but I know they're not done. So like, I know new books will come out too. That's where I lose myself a lot, is like remembering to go back and looking for like, hey, did they put a new book out? Is another one?
Yeah. And that is my problem, because I never really kept a record. So like, I went back and looked in some of my like 2021 books that I read that I had on a spreadsheet, and I was like, see, look at all these series that I started and I forgot all about them or whatever. So that's why, I mean, it's gonna take me a while to put all my series on my list of ones that I need to work on and catch up on. But I feel like once I get them all there, at least I can look. And I've got it kind of color coded, like a light yellow. I know I need to continue the like darker yellow. I'm caught up on, and I'm waiting for a book to come out.
Right.
And if it's red, that's kind of like code red. You only have one left. Read it.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Because
Yeah,
I figured
that's
that
nice.
they would get lost in the list of only having like one left or whatever. So.
It's also kind of good to know too, for me anyway, if the series is done, even if I'm not done with it, because then that sort of makes me want to like prioritize those.
Yeah.
Because, I can just get through it and be done. So.
Yeah, and I might do that with that too, like make it a different color. So at least this is a completed series, so work on that one. These other ones have
Yeah,
other
you
ones
can
coming
get
out.
that one done.
Yeah, get it moved over to the finished side.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So do you have any videos coming out?
I'm going to have out right now. I'm just doing on Fridays, so I get my life in order, which I say every week. I will have my January TBR coming out on Friday.
Cool.
Which I can't believe it's already going to be January.
Yeah, I'm going to film my TBR game this weekend so I can get it. And I'm excited and nervous at the same time. Because I've never tried a TBR game. I'm only going to do like maybe 5 or 6 like rolls, just to kind of dip my feet into it.
Are you going to have where like if you do a double or something, you have to pull another book?
I don't know. I'm being easy on myself this time. I don't have any punishments or nothing.
Okay.
Because I'm like, why punish myself if I don't finish my TBR? I mean, I'm a mood reader. I don't know. I'll have to figure out something as I go, maybe.
Yeah, because I've watched those where it's like people, like one if the girl lands on the same color or if she does those. And she's wound up with like, normally she does 5 rolls and then she winds up like, I think the most I've seen her with is like 16 books in the end.
Yeah.
And because she punishes herself if she didn't finish the first time. So that adds books on. And then doubles are the same color, adds more. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much.
I know I've seen some of them where they end up with like 20 books and they're like, well, I only read like 12. And it's like, then why put that pressure on yourself?
Right. You're not going to get it done. So,
I could see maybe if I roll a double, I can add 1 on, but I'm cutting it off at like a certain amount or whatever.
Yes.
It's like if I keep rolling doubles, well, then I'm not doing it, because
it'd be easy for the first one. Yeah. Like you said.
That's what I said. I'm just testing the waters. I see a lot of them where they start out and they end up changing the rules as they go. So.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you see what works for you, what doesn't, and then you can go from there. There you go.
And Jesse says, I do have a black 240-page journal where I list all my favorite authors and their books.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like a really bad book person because I don't have like this massive like catalog of
No. You do it
because then I forget when somebody asks me, well, what's your favorite this or what's your favorite that? And I can't remember. I can't think of what it is.
Yeah, that's
like
somebody just asked me that too. Like, what's your favorite book? I'm like, I don't know. I read a bunch of good ones this year. I don't. And like, what was my favorite book at 8 years old is still not my favorite book at 18 or 28 or 38. Like it changes as time goes on.
Well, yeah, and some people they can remember like exactly what they read when they were a kid, and I'm like, I'm lucky if I remembered like 5 books. I was a kid.
This year.
I mean, it's like I know I like Goodnight Moon and things like that, and I can remember those kind of things, but I can't remember like that. Black Beauty was my favorite book whenever I was 8 years old or something.
Right. No, I agreed. And it might not be anything that'd be on your radar nowadays because book tastes change.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you see like Sarah does her nostalgic reads and stuff, and she used to read Nancy Drew, and I don't remember like what was it that I used besides Encyclopedia Brown, and I know I read like Ramona. I don't really remember a lot to have these nostalgic feels about books. So.
Right. Well, I think for her too, it's like the Sweet Valley and Babysitter's Club and Nancy Drew were such like longer going series that. Sorry. Were like such longer going series that like you can remember overall on those, but yeah, just some like standalones or something. I'm like, I don't know what they were.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't have like that, somebody asks you like, what is your all-time favorite book?
Yeah, I don't know. Like
I'm like, I don't know.
different genres could mean something totally different for me for that. You know what I mean? So
I don't think I have like that standout that I can reread all the time because it's like my favorite book or whatever it is.
or what if you read like I can think of 2 books I read when I was a teenager that I loved back then, but I always think if I read them now, would I kind of be
Oh,
like,
well, yeah, because like, okay, if you would have asked me like what my favorite books were when I was a teenager, I would have said Stephen King.
right, which now you've said you're not
Yeah,
into like
and now I'm thinking, what on earth was he thinking writing such long books? But whenever I was a kid, I loved them. But yeah, now I don't like them quite so much
that. Exactly.
and stuff. So yeah, I'm lucky if I have favorites by year. So,
Right, that's what I mean. Like I was just
but
like I
then
can't pinpoint
you
one.
ask me what my favorite book of 2020 was, and I'll be like, I don't remember.
Yeah, like hold on, let me get back to you in a couple hours when I do some research on that.
I'll look in my list and see.
Not at all.
And Sharon says, I remember one book from 5th grade that was my favorite and captivated me. The Girl with the Silver Eyes. And Sherry says, Good Night Moon was one of Kara's, Kyra's favorites. I still have a copy I read over and over to her. Yeah, I used to have my copy until a stupid tornado, but it was definitely been loved, and like the cover was about to fall off of it and everything. Yeah, that one. My dad used to read it to me, and then we'd have fun finding the little mouse that was running across the thing. And then he did voices and stuff. So he did the Burr Rabbit and Burr Bear. So I remember that because he used to do voices for the rabbit and the fox and the bear and all those things.
That's cool.
So I was like, that was audio book back then. It was just my father reading.
Right. See, that's very cool though.
And Sharon says, I remember my teacher standing next to me to get my attention in class, and I was so engrossed I didn't have a clue that she was talking to me. And it's like, whoops, got caught reading a book while you're supposed to be
Right.
listening.
No, this does look like it'd be a very cool book though, so I could see why you'd be into it.
That's funny. So I have my best books up video, and then today I did my weekly wrap up because I did my best books yesterday, so I was a day behind getting my weekly wrap up where I talked about mostly Christmas books because I read 3 Christmas books and then 1 book I'd been working on for a while.
You're doing great with your books. That's it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, after I get done with Brimstone, if I was to just try to shove in 3 more books, I could get 300 books, but it's like, I don't know.
You could do short stories.
I know it's like I could find some short books, like some little baby middle grade books or something like that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Right away, I'm like, I could recommend 2 that I read that are quick and you could get them done the same day.
Yeah, because it's like it's kind of be fun to hit 300 because I've never hit 300 books before.
There you go. Please, I'm nowhere near that. I'm like at half of that.
Cajun said, I got my love of reading from my daddy, and the last book he read was A Cozy Mystery.
Oh, that's very cool.
That's sweet. Yeah, and the thing, I didn't get my love of reading from my father, but he did like read to me. But my mom, I got my love of reading from my mother. We used to go to the library all the time and spend hours at the bookstore and things like that. While Dad, he's just like, do we have to go to the bookstore?
Yeah, I got my love of reading from nobody. They thought I was, and still do think I'm a weirdo for reading. And my mom called me as a little kid. She said I was a hermit because all I did was sit in the house and read, or, like if I didn't want to get made fun of, I like hid my book under my shirt and like rode my bike to the park and like read in the park so nobody would laugh at me. So they still don't get it. They still make fun of me. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, my brother took after my dad, and then I took after my mom when it comes to that. But yeah, there's not a lot of other. I mean, my aunt reads a little bit, but yeah, everybody never understood why I always had my nose in a book.
But yeah, I'm just like, leave me alone. I don't care about you. I care about the characters right now. So.
And Hannah's going to be filming tomorrow, so everything's kind of calmed down for her to film. And Sherry said that she has a teacher tell my parents I read too much. That's just weird that a teacher would tell you that your kid reads too much, because I would think kids don't read enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird. Yeah, see, so that's unreal that a teacher would say that. Yeah. But both of my parents encouraged the love of reading. Well, my dad, he would like to try to read, but his attention span isn't. Comics. He liked comics when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And stuff.
There
He
you
used to read comic books all the time, and if you was to give him a comic book, although he says they've ruined his comic books nowadays, and he wouldn't read them because they put words and things in there that should be in there. But yeah, he would read comics if still, and he wanted me to get him he liked Western, so I got him a Louis L'Amour book, and it just sat there and collected dust, and he never. I tried it. I read like a paragraph, and I had to read the paragraph, and then read the paragraph. He just his attention. He just had to go back and read it, and it's like, yeah. I give up on him. Genta, I got the love of reading from my dad too. I don't remember him reading to me as a child, but he would make up bedtime stories to tell me. That's cool.
That's very cool. Yeah.
And Hannah says, "LOL, Cajun, I saw you were here, but I just realized you came back." Well, I guess we will wrap it up for tonight. It's getting late for you over there. Still kind of early for me. And everything. So everybody, thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah,
And Lee, thanks for hanging.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you for me.
don't forget, Thursday, Sarah, 7:00.
Eastern time on the Beach Bum Bookworm.
No, it's the Bookish Knitter. Sarah.
Oh my gosh. The Bookish Knitter, you're absolutely right. Why am I thinking it was Tiffany? But you're right. Sarah said it was her. My bad.
Yeah. I think we're kind of back to normal because
Yes.
usually it's Stormy and Sarah.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I went back to the YouTube main page and saw it was still going on. So popped in. Oh, okay. So, okay. So good night, everybody.
Good night.